surprisingly, MAGA is now on a charm offensive, trying to get Americans to know and love DOGE and the people that work for it. Here is Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, on Fox News. This is breathtaking. You have got to hear this clip.
Again, that's why I wanted the American people to meet Sam. We're going to bring some more DOGE people forward to actually hear their stories, see what's being done, because the entrenched interests, the consultants, the Democrats, mainstream media, they just want to blow this project out of the water. And
here's the thing. I don't want to get to know the people who were not elected, who are going in and dismantling our democracy. I'd like to read about them in a history book in a year or two. I want to know about the hardworking Americans that went to work one day and got an email from a guy named Elon Musk, who is a billionaire only because of our taxpayer money. He is a parasitic welfare queen. And these people, I want to know how they voted. I want to know if maybe they believed Trump, and I want to know about their deprogramming of that. I want to know if the government then supplied them with any form of health care, any sort of pension, any sort of unemployment, because it's my understanding that a lot of these people that work for Veterans Affairs are now unable to access unemployment benefits or health insurance because they have been fired due to performance. And what is the purpose of all of this? They say it's to cut $1 trillion. So far, they haven't cut any money. All they've done is harmed our economy, and it seems to be a man-made recession because Joe Biden, as all Democrats do, always hand over the keys with a good economy. Republicans always come in and tank it, and that's the biggest myth on the planet, that just because people have money, they're good at running a business. And I want to remind everybody, government is not a business, and it never should be. And they have to be run in completely different ways, you dipshits.
Interesting to me that this man, the Secretary of the Treasury, was not outraged that DOGE was accessing Americans' personal information. And a judge has said, stay out of it. That is private. It's a fishing expedition. You can't go in there. And then just on a petty note, didn't we just crucify Zelensky on Fox News because he didn't wear a suit to the White House? This guy is sitting on Fox News telling us how smart he is and how much he's cutting, and he's in a black T-shirt.
But this is the thing. I mean, is the overt, recognizable hypocrisy that we all see with MAGA. Like I heard Pam Bondi say, the days of committing crimes and getting away with it are over. She just said that yesterday, and I thought, that's unbelievable that she says that and she believes it and might even be able to pass a polygraph because these people are so diabolical. It never occurs to her that Donald Trump is the biggest criminal con man on the planet, a total criminal, and does all of this crazy shit with impunity. It doesn't occur to her that people who beat up cops at the Capitol, who tried to kill Mike Pence, were pardoned. So in MAGA world, you have to have such a cherry-picked reality to be able to live in it. And I guess they're such sheep. They wake up and they get their marching orders from, Trump's crackhead cabinet every morning. And it's like, oh, okay, here's what I'm supposed to believe. And then they go on. It's bananas. Okay. Here's something that I think is really important to note. The rate at which Trump and his cabinet are dismantling democracy is really scary. And Mr. Levitsky says, the zeal with which these guys, Trump and Musk, are engaging in increasingly open authoritarian behavior is unlike almost anything I've ever seen. Erdogan, Chavez, and Viktor Orban, they hit it. And this is something that I think is something that we have to keep pointing out. They are brazenly and bragging about it, breaking democracy, and they're trying to make these DOGE guys heroes. Meanwhile, they fired real veterans that served in the war and took away their benefits. And all of these MAGA voters love to talk about how they support the troops. And they love to talk about how much they support cops. And the MAGA administration is defunding programs for our troops that they claim to support. They are providing pardons for criminals that beat up cops with flagpoles and tried to kill the vice president of the United States of America. They got a pardon. And MAGA is just going along with this.
It is so terrifying because I agree with him that other people try to hide it. Donald Trump, because of Putin's interference with the propaganda, Rupert Murdoch's help, and the Christians, the head of the Christian movement that have allowed this kind of lack of critical thinking, they like it. They're all in. They post videos that are cruel, dehumanizing people, and those people are cheering. People are like, oh yeah, that's my guy. People's rights are being violated. It is unbelievable to me that they sit around and they don't realize they're the sheep. They're the sheep going to slaughter. They don't get it.
You're exactly right. Okay, you brought up Putin pumps. And this is wild, you guys. So in Russian media, Steve Rosenberg reports, judging by today's Russian papers, Moscow's rather pleased with Donald Trump. One paper headline says, Trump is ready to make significant concessions to Russia. Another headline, events are developing in the right direction, right and beneficial for Russia. And this is what's wild. For all of you national security, the United States is such a badass superpower. Don't fuck with us. USA, USA. That is total American faceplant weakness that no other American president in the history of this country has ever accomplished, being this weak. Russia, their economy is in tatters. All of the free world has economic sanctions on them. The recession is bad. Inflation is through the roof. Putin tries to cook the books and creates propaganda videos that it's a great place to live. They have the oligarchs, and then everybody else lives in very, very poor conditions. Not to mention the fact that they're supposed to be this big military superpower, and Ukraine has given them the biggest run for their money. Nobody ever thought the war would go on this long. The only thing preventing Russia from its complete demise is NATO and the United States of America. And Trump goes and delivers to the weakest positioned Russia on the planet those headlines, and MAGA is celebrating that Trump is so masculine and such a badass and the art of the deal. What fucking planet do these morons live on?
They believe that since he was a businessman on The Apprentice, that he is the art of the deal. And let me just tell you, I have researched his business acumen. I have seen him bankrupt casinos, all of that. He is a shitty businessman. Trump University, they were going to settle it for like $6 million. She's like, oh no, I'm going to come in and I'm going to negotiate it. He paid $25 million. This guy can't negotiate shit, as we see every single day. And the fact that these enabler Republicans are so worried about their seats in Congress that they know who Putin is, they know he's a murderous dictator, and they are going along with it because they have no conviction and they don't give a shit about America or their constituents. They give a shit about their power and their jobs, and they're scared of MAGA. It's absolutely stunning.
And just when you said that, I still am really mad at the 10 senators that voted with them.
So mad.
It just makes me, Chuck Schumer, resign, go on your book tour indefinitely. You are not the man of this moment. It just makes me angry. Every single one of those 10 senators that we name called need to step aside and let some fighters get in. Okay. I want to leave you all with a video from Lara Trump, and apparently she has presidential ambitions. Play the clip.
So the question you asked was, would I ever consider running for president? I was going to say maybe there's some steps I need to take before that. But as we all know, Donald Trump says you don't need to start, anywhere in politics. You just go straight to the top. I would never say never to anything, I think that that's one lesson that we certainly have all learned in this family. We none of us would have ever considered anything political prior to my father-in-law deciding to run for president, but we've seen We've seen the really awful side of politics. We've also seen the really beautiful side of politics where you get to help people and make this country better and leave it a better place than you found it. It's a Girl Scout motto. So I'm going to say maybe. You never know what could happen.
Girl Scouts. I mean, you never know. Maybe she'll run for president. Are you kidding me? I mean, this country is a laughing stock.
Yes.
That is embarrassing. That would be like me saying, I'm going to run for president. I'm uniquely disqualified, not qualified to do it. I don't have the patience. I don't have enough interest to sit down and grind in the mundane, boring stuff that makes governments work. I don't have the attention span for it. These people, the hubris in the Trump people, that she thinks that she could be president and doesn't have enough human decency to say, you know what, I probably am not qualified to do that.
Donald Trump's not qualified. He has sent a message. You don't have to be qualified. You don't have to be smart. You don't have to care about details. You don't even have to give a shit about the American people. You have to make them hate each other. And then you're all chips in. You can grift. You can make Trumpy trout that sell out. This is an abomination. Trump is an abomination, his whole family. And I just want to remind everybody, none of them are smart. None of them.
No, they're not.
They're not smart.
They're not smart, which is why Trump always has to talk about genes and IQ, because he knows they're deficient in it. I mean, I think we played a video the other day where Trump's bragging that Barron could turn on a computer.
Right.
You know, so the bar is so low. And the Trumps, I just want to say this is the biggest white trash family.
The worst.
The riffraff, the knickknack, oh, I found out. You know, he put the Declaration of Independence in the office. It's a copy. So the draperies and all of that are unnecessary because it's not the real Declaration of Independence that they let him hang. It's a copy of the Declaration of Independence. And I guess they probably told him it was real and they put in the curtains around it. But you guys, when I'm not a podcaster, I'm an interior designer. And I have to say, the tchotchkes, the riffraff, the knickknacks, the gold adornments that are going on in the White House, in the Oval Office, is very alarming to me. And I saw a clip where Trump said to, what's her name, Laura Ingraham, he said, yeah, I put this gold up because, you know, they're trying to find a paint that's gold and they couldn't find one. And there is one. It's called gold leaf. I mean, like, it's just, he's just so stupid. And it's like he's playing dress up in the office and decorating it with his Sharpies and then just wrecking our entire country. And I don't know who makes me more mad, the Trumps or the people that enable him and voted for him.
I think it's the people that enabled and voted for him, because a grifter's going to grift, a liar's going to lie, a convict's going to crime. He's a criminal. He's always been a criminal. He's always been a racist. He's always thought women were interchangeable and disposable. He has always been a bad guy. It's the people that sit around and say, he's my guy because he's God's guy, with a straight face.
He just loves America.
He loves America because he dry humped an American flag. And his kids are stupid. He's stupid. She thinks she can sing. And I've got news. You can't sing. But it's infuriating that people look at that and think, Larry Trump's got my vote.
I understand why other countries hate us.
Absolutely.
I get it. I understand it. And my message to all of our international viewers is the loudest, craziest ones, like my everyday experience, even in a red state, in a purple city in the United States of America, you don't see that kind of shit around. They just control so much of the airwaves. There are a lot of wonderful, good, amazing, decent people here in the America that made, you know, the opportunity and all of the films and all of the music and the sports and, you know, television shows and fabulous art. And, you know, you think about the iconic images of California and San Francisco and Boston and Washington, D.C. It's all still here. And we're all still here. And we have got to quit being paralyzed and stand up for this country and fight for it, because of the goodness and our idea of trying to be better and trying to right wrongs and trying to make this place more equal for all is still here. And I believe with every molecule in my body and every molecule in her body, that the majority of the people in this country still want that and still are going to fight for that. So please subscribe to our channel. And we're trying to get to 1 million subs. We are.
Yeah, for two
It's
old
a goal.
broads, it's a big swing.
It's a big goal, but we think we can do it. And we'll see you all later.